Alright, let's give it a whirl. Yeah, I hate myself. I knew that was going to happen. Just based on the signs from the previous turn, I knew that was going to happen.
Hey everyone, welcome to Commander Pop Culture. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified of future content.
Playing some low tier commanders. This first one I want to feature is Bilbo. You have a win condition from your command zone. Albeit getting 111 life is no easy task. In my first iteration of this deck, I was probably playing too fairly, and it wasn't getting anywhere with it, so now I'm playing it a little unfairly. I have a couple of ways to make infinite life in this deck. One of them being Spike Feeder, and a combination with Heliod Suncrowned. Unfortunately, there's only one Spike Feeder, but there's a ton of ways to put counters from gaining life. Other than Heliod, I could do it with Light of Promise, which is an aura, and Archangel of Thune. The other way I could get a bunch of life is with Famished Paladin with Resplendent Mentor. How Famished Paladin works is it's a 3/3 body that untaps itself whenever you gain life, and with Resplendent Mentor, creatures have the ability to tap to gain a life. So obviously, you tap it, gain a life, it untaps itself, and that's infinite life. Those are the two ways I get there, but once you activate Bilbo, question is, how do you win? I have Dina Soul Steeper. Whenever you gain a life, each opponent loses a life. And same with Marauding Blight Priest does the same thing. Reason why I choose these over Veto is because they're less threatening. But in truth, they are just as threatening as Veto. The reason why I like them more than Veto is they don't target anybody. It just happens. So right now, the One Ring is a very popular card in Moto, or just in Magic in general. So since I'm doing things at sorcery speed, and if people have protection from everything, I wouldn't be able to target them with Veto. So I'm getting around that with those two creatures to win the game. Or I do the traditional thing with Triskelion and Heliod. You just give Triskelion lifelink and shoot people to death. If I have Exquisite Blood in play, and Dina or Marauding Blight Priest, that's an infinite loop where I just drain everybody at the table. So there's a lot of ways that you could win from activating Bilbo. The idea is once you have 111 life, you just win there. You got card advantage and some life gain. It's not a bad start. Don't have any mana rocks, but beggars can't be choosers. This deck is, I don't know. When I was playing fairly, it wasn't doing anything particularly well. So now that I'm focusing more on the aspect of getting infinite life, it should start doing something more often. I'd like to use my Vampiric Tutor to get a combo piece, but we're up against a rogue tribal deck and an elf tribal deck, so I imagine the table will get cluttered with creatures. I might have to use it to get a board wipe. There's some stops I had put in place from my previous game. Well, I have plenty of lands, so I think I'm just going to correct my flow to try and get a Savannah. Play a Johnny's Welcome. If you're new here, I'm all about cracking fetch lands before people have 3 mana and are in black, because these 3 are all in black. I have to be a little concerned over opposition agent. I have to be concerned about that kind of stuff. Grima play, the only other person playing a low-tier commander. They could also be running Ashiok, which is pretty good. Luckily for me, I don't run any lands that add any extra abilities, so I don't really care so much about this guy. Oh, okay, I misremembered this. I thought this one was the one where it steals activated abilities of lands, but it's pretty good. Punch someone and until you hit an instant or sorcery, you get to cast it for free. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Probably should have, when I fetched, get a Godless Shrine, because It'd have been nice if I did that more correctly, because then I could have responded to my draw and on my upkeep searched for some kind of ramp to keep up with everybody. Oh well. Happy little mistakes. Just a little slow start from us. It's okay. Kind of want to be lying in the toolies anyways. Kind of like the design of this card. Mostly because every card in your deck is supposedly supposed to be strong because you have so few of them. Whatever he hits off of people in terms of sorceries or instants, they're going to be bangers if people are serious about how they built their decks. Oh yeah, I wanted to try something. That's a bummer. Something I can make this balloon up a lot bigger. I was, or have been, just whenever someone plays something significant, I take Scryfall images and I just plug them in so people can, obvious reasons, Moto is not exactly eye candy. You can't really tell what's going on based on the stack in this image if this is as big as it can get. I was hoping I could expand it so it just takes up the whole screen and maybe save myself some time in the editing process, because obviously finding images and just slapping them on the screen can be a little time consuming. Or when I said you should put things in your deck that's relevant, yeah, that's definitely a casual card. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's pretty disappointed on that hit. Let's see what he says. Yeah. When people have a smaller hand size, maybe I'll be more inclined to hit the panic button and get a board wipe with my Vampiric Tutor. This guy's clearly playing... I don't know what he's playing. Some weird instants and sorceries, that's for sure. Mind you, even though I care about getting to 111 life, with this deck, I'm more than happy to lose life, just because I'll eventually gain it all back if I live long enough. I have tons of good hits, or ramp, card advantage, removal. One of those three things, you're guaranteed if you hit me. Nothing game breaking, but at least good quality of life stuff. I've been really enjoying this card. You could exile a artifact or enchantment at instant speed for 2 mana. Or if you pay the kicker cost of a black and another colorless, you could hit any permanent. Non-land permanent, so it's got a nice little flex. My ideal removal is 2 mana or less, which fits that bill, and at the same time has the flexibility that I also enjoy. I'm glad I didn't tutor for a board wipe yet. I think on my turn I'll play the Bountiful Promenade and play Cut a Deal. If you're not in the habit of thinking about your turns before it's your turn, when there's 3 other people at your table, I recommend you start, because it's just good play etiquette to do it that way. There's no reason, there's so much downtime in a 4-person game. You should just be as respectable to people's turns as you possibly can. The only time you should be losing a lot of clock is if you have a lot of triggers. And it's unavoidable because you gotta layer them on the stack. And that takes some time and practice in clicking things properly, because if you mess it up, there are no takebacks.
You're it. Quitties! Any quitties? You're it, quitties. No any quitties, no startsies. You can't do that. Can't do.
Gotta live with whatever mistake you make on here. I imagine this Nighthawk goes over here, go play, say got plenty of ramp, and they're doing stuff. I wonder if this deck plays a whole lot of creatures, though. I imagine enough, or damages. Oh, it's a whiff. Denied you some card advantage. That's particularly brutal. Well, hopefully he doesn't mill anything of mine that I particularly value, but who knows. Now I'm a little hesitant to do my Savine's Reclamation on a fetch land. I want to do Cut a Deal first, though. I love this card advantage card. It's all my personal favorites. Not too spicy, but some more removal, some more card advantage, or some ramp. That's what all my instants and sorceries on my deck do. Minus tutors. I do have some tutors too, but just quality of life, instants and sorceries. I'm not running anything that wins you the game from an instant or sorcery. I have a couple enchantments that do that, like Defense of the Heart. If that triggers on my upkeep, you're going to lose the game, probably. You'd have to have removal up and ready to go. Or no, just lying in the toolies, hiding out. But Go Play is looking for some revenge. And go over there at the rogue player. Ooh, that's a lot of mana. I'm not a fan of this card, actually. I don't think it's particularly okay in his deck because the turn you play it, he swings with his Grima, and then he casts a thing. So that effectively counts as a second spell, which is also free. So gets now 2 copies of something free. I guess that works pretty good in that deck. It's just a little limiting because you only get one. You only get 1 trigger off this per turn. So like, I feel like people that were hyped about this were thinking, oh, I'll get this trigger on everyone's turn. Well, casting 2 spells on everyone's turn is pretty darn challenging to do. I think, like, if you could do it, you're probably going to win the game, but not exactly a realistic expectation, which is why this is like a $3 card in paper.
I am cold and I am hard, and my name is reality.
Oh no, not reality.
Does he not have any instants and sorceries? That is no way this guy is not playing instants and sorceries. Or maybe he wanted... Is this a May trigger? Yeah, it's a May, so I guess he valued an additional Jeweled Lotus over whatever they hit. I don't know. Don't have anything really spicy going on in my mind of the table. Let's take a look at the deck list here. I could get a Necropotence with my tutor, since I'm running out of things to really do. I don't have multiple black sources though, so I can't cast it. Turn I search for it. I like this Arwen. Probably the best version of the bunch. I should probably blow up this Storm of Saruman. Even though it costs me 5 mana, I think it'll be worth it. It's just doing more things than everyone else here. Gotta inhibit him a little bit. But yeah, Soul Guide Lantern's down at least, so hopefully he doesn't have like a dark ritual or anything like that. Kill someone with a Vorpal Sword. This guy is clearly a very pimped out deck based on the versions he's picked out. I don't really care for the version of a card on here just because the images are such low quality and small. It's like, what's the point of having fancy things on Moto? I only care about what it does. I'll agree, it's a pretty nice draw. I'm still on the let's mess with this while we still can kind of a thing. I could do it while his mana's down. He's only got 2 cards in hand. Well, let's not take any risks. Gain some favor with other folks here. I could have advanced my own game by going Nature's Lore and Agreed, but every time you have an option to limit someone else's board or advance your own, you should choose to limit someone else's, because you have all the information presented to you versus advancing your own board. You should only take that option as if you're going to win off of that kind of a play. I have Path Up with my Birds of Paradise. Someone wants to crack me for a lot of damage, I have an option to not take it. Beast sends thanks. If he kills my commander, it's no big deal. Destroy the Vorpal Sword. He's choosing me for the piles. So I choose the pile that he gets. I'll give him the lands. I feel like he didn't give me much of a... Felt like that decision was way too easy. Maybe his other pile is just as bad. 2 lands and a Chrome House Sea Shark. Yeah, I still think I gave him a better option. If his commander dies, it's like whatever. He has so much mana. The boards for these 2 are getting a little bigger. Might set a stop on my upkeep so I get Vampiric Tutor for board white before the elf player gets too out of hand. He does have exact mana up for Heroic Intervention, so That'd be a pretty wild blowout if he had that. Hopefully he doesn't. The Lightning Greaves makes things a lot harder to play around. I probably should have responded to the equip from Lightning Greaves to path his commander. Just so worried about him having Heroic Intervention. I think I'm just going to exile this, remove the possibility. That, and I'm taking away his evasion piece. Can't just pump his this into this and make everything +3/+3 and trample. It's an overrun effect. Where's my copy of Damn? Shit. I misselected the card. Whatever.
And I know this is going to look like we're destroying everything. Don't worry about it. We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Maybe I'll get this middle player to commit a little bit more. Maybe I held on to that board wipe for better reason. I don't know. Truth be told, I wanted to cast the Damn overloaded, but I guess I stroked out and decided to play Greed instead. I'm not in too rough of shape yet. I got card advantage here. I got recovery with Savine's Reclamation. Post-board wipe. I got stuff to do. I do feel dumb though, because the whole reason of me exiling this was so he'd be 1 mana short of casting Heroic Intervention. So I kind of poo-pooed that bed a little bit. Nice. Doesn't have a force in his deck. That's a miss. Hopefully he doesn't have something like Craterhoof, because that'd probably be enough to kill 1 person, maybe 2, depending if he has anything to play before that. Yeah, I just feel dumb for my last play. Hopefully it doesn't bite us in the bud and doesn't cause us to lose. Otherwise I'll feel like I had a direct cause in that. Oh god. It's a lot of damage. Just sending it all at the rogue player. I imagine he chumps the commander with the beast token, because I don't know, that's the only thing worth blocking. And he has so much life, you just take everything else. Well, this guy's life total is getting nice and low. Ooh, please block the... Oh, that's a mistake. You need to block this. Luckily, the only thing that he benefits off of this is he makes Marwan even bigger. Man, I wish I had a Soul Sister in play, because I'd be gaining a lot of life off this. 2 life per creature, so in this scenario it would have been 10. Ocean Thief. Well, I'm going to try the board wipe. If I don't have it, then this guy's going to win. Or if this guy has Heroic Intervention, they're probably going to win. Got 2 blue players here. Maybe they'll help me make sure that it resolves. The other thing that kind of sucks is this guy didn't really play into the board wipe. He's just using with whatever he had in play. He only played this thing. So he's still got a good grip of cards in hand. It's a lot of cards to mill. It's going to be milling 8 on my turn. Just tapping it all down. Alright. Hopefully this board wipe resolves and actually affects him. I have a feeling though, because last time you left 2 mana up and we're in the same spot again. Stop anymore. Heliod's nice. It's a win condition. Famished Paladin's a win condition. You're probably like, why on earth is he playing Famished Paladin?
What? What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
It's not a very typical combo piece that people see every day. Probably wondering what the hell I could do with that. Or they don't care at all. Probably just see it as a value card. Sarah Paragon would have been nice. Oh well. Okay, let's see if this guy has the thing. Kind of want as much black mana up so I could fill my hand as I can. Alright, let's give it a whirl. Yeah.
Shit. Talk about your all-time backfires.
I hate myself. I knew that was gonna happen. Just based on the signs from the previous turn. I think I'll just Savine's Reclamation for Heliod, and it'd take a miracle to survive here. If he hits me, he could hit one of my tutors and get his own board wipe. Or he could hit single target removal and at least take away the Marwyn. That's still a lot of damage on his board. My only other board wipe I got is a Johnny, but I need 15 more life. I am looking, if I do live to next turn, I'm really looking forward to milling 7 cards, just so I can maybe get a really juicy, some more juicy targets for Savine's Reclamation. Wonder what he's playing. Oh dang, that's pretty sick. I'd have all my instants and sorceries and kill a bunch of tokens. Do you not have anything better in your graveyard? Wow. Out of all these milled cards, I'm the only one with removal in them. Why? You could have played Casualties of War, dude. What? What's the stipulation on this card? Does it have to be cheap? Oh man, I would have went Casualties of War. That would have been such a better hit. I would have just wrecked this board. I would have first copy hit enchantment, land, artifact, creature, and then blew up his commander and whatever else. Man, that's he probably could have cleaned us out with that Casualties of War if he chose that over my Abrupt Decay. Wonder how he'll swing out here. Trying to think if it'd be more valuable than not block his Lathril, but I think it is. Just denying him bodies is, if he does swing my way, I'll definitely block that. I imagine not, because it's just more guaranteed if he hits the other 2. He'll probably swing all the 3-1s my way. 7, 11 counters. I'll have one really big Soul Warden once he makes all these 1/1 tokens. I can't wait for that playback of me calling the Heroic Intervention and recognizing that play pattern with his lands being untapped, and then predicting this awkward situation. He skipped his combat step. He must have accidentally clicked. Why would you do that? It feels really weird. I don't know. He didn't have a reason not to attack. That's so much damage. That's 20 damage that you didn't deal. In an aggro strategy, it doesn't make sense to not do it. Alright, mill me something good. Preferably permanents that are under 3 CMC. Crew of the Guard's interesting. So I have infinite life at this point, because I could get Spike Weaver. Okay. Do I have to activate this? Alright, I don't have to do it now, but I have effectively infinite life. So I'll just draw a card. Keeping myself at an odd number is also pretty good against the mill deck. So I don't get like traumatized and affected by something like Bruvak. The reason why this is infinite is I remove a counter from Spike Feeder to gain 2 life. The Heliod triggers, and I put the counter back on Spike Feeder, forcing us to respond.
One eternity later.
I wonder if this guy is salty scooped. And then he's just playing in another lobby right now, and he's just gonna wait for timer to go instead of just conceding like the other 2. He might already be in a lobby playing. Alright, I got it. I showed you most of the deck, and I already talked about how it wins. Some other quality of life stuff that I probably forgot to mention is, since it is a combo deck, keeping people out of your turn is pretty important. So Grand Abolisher, Myrel, and Conqueror's Flail do a bang up job at doing that. I don't know if you are aware of the interaction with Bolas' Citadel and Necropotence, but basically you can manipulate the top of your library to always have gas on top of it, and being in a life gain deck, you can probably play your entire library without killing yourself, because Bolas' Citadel lets you play off the top of your library. Necropotence, you pay a life to exile the top card of your library, so you just pitch the land over and over again. The tutors, other than Defense of the Heart, that also win you the game, is probably shared summons. It's an instant, so that's, people don't see it coming. The only thing that I kind of miss out is there was a combo kill with Veto when I originally had that in the list, because Revenge doubles your life and target opponent loses half their life. If I ever cast that with Veto in play, I'd just kill someone straight up, because someone loses half their life, then you double your life, and then the life you gain from that would be enough from the Veto trigger to finish the job. But like I said, the targeting was a factor because of the one ring, and I don't know, there's tons of other ways to give yourself hexproof. The other long shot win condition is Felidar Sovereign. Being if you're upkeep, you have 40 more life, you win. When I activate Bilbo, if I ever do, I have the option to activate it at instant speed, so I could wait till the end of someone else's turn, the last player in the turn cycle's turn, to put Felidar into play and win that way. The only time I would ever do that, though, is if my other win conditions weren't online. So, like, if I couldn't get the Spike Feeder to work, if I couldn't get Resplendent Mentor and Famished Paladin to work, then I would do that. Even so, I might even have to do that with Resplendent Mentor and Famished Paladin, depending on if Famished Paladin has Summoning Sickness. Then I would also have to do it on someone else's turn. But that's the deck. I hope y'all liked it. This is one of 5 Commander low tier decks I built. I found a pretty good spot with this as of right now. I got to do the gimmick of gaming life and win off of it. Most life gain decks don't have a good win condition, so you have your win condition from the command zone should you need it. It's there. So stay tuned for the next commander deck that'll feature on the channel, and have a good night. Bye.